Okay guys, welcome back to another blockchain news video. Today we have number 31 and today the market is in the red. Currently Bitcoin is on a setback of about 2% at 9,567, Ethereum at 260, negative 3%, XRP 26 cents, almost a 3% on the downside. Bitcoin Cash negative 5%, 368 on the price. Bitcoin SV negative 7%, 268. And the entire rest of the market is pretty much looking red, guys. So not a lot of great news today in regards to market upside. We're seeing Litecoin on a retrace of about 5% at $73, EOS at $4, XRP at that 26 cents. Monero, we have negative 5% at $77. So who knows, this might be a quick pullback. And I'm honestly still very bullish in the market. Of course, nothing has changed in regards to my sentiments. I really think it's just volatility taking place here. We had a good upside for a couple hours, a few hours actually yesterday, and then we moved back lower. So enjoy the volatility, whoever is trading with smart bots or, any form of crypto bots. I know you're probably getting some good gains here if you're probably trading on the USDT pair or perhaps some of these stablecoin pairs that we also have. Tezos currently at around under $3 at a negative 8.36% for the 24-hour period. So for the news today, guys, there's nothing major really going on. We're going to dive right into a few articles, and this one should be a pretty short one, honestly. So first up, we have blockchain pioneer Caitlin Long to build crypto bank in Wyoming. So Wyoming corporation founded by blockchain legislative champion and Wall Street veteran Caitlin Long is preparing to apply for a special purpose depository institution charter with the state's division of banking. So the biggest takeaway here, guys, Wyoming is very supportive of cryptocurrency, and they're actually allowing digital assets for banks to take place. The one caveat with it though is that they don't allow for crypto lending to take place. So they do highlight that down here in the article, but they're going to use Blockstream as a partnership to get that Bitcoin protocol going and that they can get that regulated vehicle going with the bank. And honestly, guys, this initiative isn't anything too innovative, right? It really seems like she is just, taking leadership here and going out to create this bank, which is awesome. We need more people like that. I try to do a little bit of digging. I can't really get a lot more to Caitlin Long and I guess her importance in regards to just the normal financial sides. She does have some experience with Wall Street and stuff like that, but seeing her in this space now should bring a lot of support for this new digital bank asset. So it's going to be only for cryptos. That's going to be a great precedent going forward. And that's pretty much it for this one, other than using Blockstream's technology for that Lightning protocol, right? That's currently running the Liquid sidechain that's going alongside Bitcoin. That's pretty much what we got going on with this one today. So next up, we have how to protect Bitcoin for your heirs with the push of a dead man's button, right? How many times have you probably thought about, hey, if you die, right? Or if something happens to you where you are incapacitated, can you leave your cryptocurrency for somebody else, like a family member, a child, right? A parent, who knows? So we really don't have that here in the crypto space, at least not in a decentralized way. Perhaps it can take place, but through a centralized entity. So right now there's kind of a conversation going out in the crypto space for a dead man's button. So basically it's just a button that needs to be pressed and a message is pretty much sent out. And if the button isn't pressed, it just would confirm that you have either passed away or you're incapacitated, at which point that cryptocurrency would be dispensed or retrieved by someone else. So the technology isn't really in place there, but it was just getting that thought process of, hey, is this something that could be useful for us, right? Since with all this decentralization, we don't really have a way of keeping this cryptocurrency in-house for, as an inheritance for children or something like that, or family members. So something to think about. Nothing really concrete right now, not that it will get applied in any time soon, but something that people are discussing in crypto. Next up, we have status, and Ethereum private messenger goes Waku on Telegram. So they just initiated a new development upgrade here for the Whisper protocol running for status. So they've actually been trying to solve some of these scalability issues now for a couple years. And the new protocol, the current version, should handle up to 1,000 daily users, which is pretty good. But obviously, you need a lot more if you want to handle peer-to-peer messaging, right? And currently, the issues that we're having is that Telegram is getting a lot of pressure from big governments, and we need right now to kind of rely more on a peer-to-peer messaging service for more privacy and security and stuff like that. I think every single person in the world should have some level of privacy. Of course, you shouldn't really have the government all the way into your messages, I would think, right? That is just my personal opinion, and it might differ from yours, but it's something that we struggled here with, digital messaging for a very long time. And with the internet and everything that we've had, it's been kind of difficult to set the right guidelines, I'd say, or laws that we need to follow so that the government can also kind of give us some space. So I'm hoping for status to actually move, do good, right? I want them to keep growing. I want them to keep scaling. Peer-to-peer messaging might not sound all that revolutionary, but it's something that we do need. And thinking about it more now, I'd rather be using peer-to-peer rather than centralized servers. So next up, we do have Binance in the news again. I think they just keep a little bit of news or something. They just save it for the next day so that they can remain in the news. But I'm not going to highlight them too much right now, guys. All it is, they're now offering both deposits, withdrawals from within the Hong Kong dollars. So it's going to be no deposit fee. So that's pretty good. You can do Swift code, wire transfer, SEPA, FastPay, PM, and other e-currency deposits and withdrawal services. Exchange has obviously added 15 different additional fiat currency options for both fiat and MasterCard. So that's pretty good. Binance continues to move forward on that. And now you can use your Hong Kong dollars. We have EOS network suffering from degraded performance, says Coinbase. So the EOS network did have some performance issues here recently. It seems like there was a micro forking issue that took place where 192 blocks were missed because the mainnet was actually trying to sort its forking issue out. And that's kind of one of the perks of EOS, is that it can fork itself and it just kind of works, right? It doesn't turn into a hard fork. It's not something like what we see in other chains, but when it does happen, of course, you're still going to miss some blocks, or it can affect the performance of EOS in itself, the blockchain. So that's something that Coinbase did speak on, and we had some of the block producers. We had one specifically that did come out from EOS, EOS Nation. They're a big block producer in EOS, and they stated that EOS mainnet was extremely reliable, and honestly it always is. Their transactions can be very, very, very fast. I've experienced that myself, and some of the comforts of having a wallet on EOS. My bigger concerns with EOS do come from another perspective, and we're going to cover that here in another article or two. Moving forward, we have Warren Buffett not convinced after Justin Sun's dinner, says Bitcoin has no value and never will. Basically, what Warren Buffett has been saying for a while now, he stated again that he doesn't own any cryptocurrency and never will. But what's interesting is that Tron's founder, Justin Sun, did meet up with him and they had dinner. And I do remember him sending him Bitcoin and TRX coins. So this statement's kind of weird. Not sure if he just sent it back, or he just sold it off and took some USD out of it or whatnot. But this is what Warren Buffett is saying. So there's a couple things real quick, guys. In regards to this whole Warren Buffett thing, either sometimes you're going to have people that, in this case, he could be lying, right? And he could be hoarding Bitcoin like no one's business, right? Because we saw it happen with JP Morgan CEO. He lied throughout 2017 and for a while and bashed Bitcoin. And then we came to find out that even though he wasn't allowing his employees to hoard Bitcoin, he was holding a large pot of cryptocurrency. So that could be happening here. Now, the other thing, if it's not, or if you have somebody like this who you might look up to, and this is all they do you think it's really productive at this point in time to care about what Warren Buffett thinks? You know, if all he wants to do is, bash cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, which is honestly, I would argue that it is the insurance of this new generation in monetary compensation or value, right? We don't have what these older folks had. We don't, like Warren Buffett, we don't just go and get an opportunity to buy super cheap homes or great land or anything. Everything that the millennials and the generations following that one have is a lot of renting mindset, a lot of subscription based. We don't really own anything. So Bitcoin comes out to be, and cryptocurrency ends up being that first asset that a lot of us just actually have. And it gained value. And to have somebody like Warren Buffett still to this point in time continue to bash Bitcoin alone, which was the best investment of the decade, you got to think to yourself, is this guy even a mentor? Like, does it even make sense, right? It's like right now, Steve Jobs is he was amazing, right? When he was alive and everything he did for Apple. But you think about Apple today, and some people say, oh, Steve Jobs is rolling in his grave. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. Maybe he left at the perfect time because it gave everybody else an opportunity to do something different. And that's what I'm possibly thinking about Warren Buffett. Do people really need to care about him and his concern with crypto? Because even if he endorsed it tomorrow, I don't see Bitcoin moving up in price, guys. We have much more bullish news. We have entire governments and countries around the world supporting the idea of even having their own central bank currency. So imagine what Warren Buffett has to say. It doesn't matter if he's one of the wealthiest old people out there. It doesn't matter at this point in time, guys. We don't have the access to the assets that he had, and we don't have that same luxury that he had when he jumped into his investments. So what we have is something different that he possibly just doesn't understand, or like I said at the beginning, he might be lying and he holds a ton of crypto. Next up, again, we have EOS in the news. So EOS service incentivizes centralization of block producers. So just a quick touch on this. We have something called a gen pool, a service provider that essentially allows the BPs to get more votes, and they can begin to share their block rewards with the voters. So the consensus model that EOS uses is a decentralized or a DPoS. So yes, it's a proof of stake, but it's delegated. Sorry about that. So delegated proof of stake. And that's the model that they use. And essentially that causes that says that you can't just become a block producer tomorrow, right? There's only 21 spots, if I'm not mistaken, within EOS right now. And so right now you have about 100 or 200 standby block producers that can come into play if some of those top ones either get voted out or they simply just don't remain. But the bigger thing here is that if you have services like this and you're a bigger block producer, you're getting a lot of EOS, because remember, there's still a proof of it's still kind of a proof of stake, but it's delegated. So now it's just this big block producer, which could in turn be a corporation. It could be Binance. It could be anything, right? Like in Tron, we have the super representatives, and it's Binance. So here in EOS, and I'm sure it's happening in Tron, we're seeing kind of this take place. And there's been other services like it, but this one makes it pretty easy. And, this is just to bring it up to you guys. I'm not going to, because the EOS block producers can have the opportunity to collude, doesn't mean that they might do it this very second. But what sucks is the opportunity to be able to do it in a few seconds or in a few minutes or in a few hours, tomorrow, next week, next month, right? Because we want the blockchain to be healthy. We don't want to be having to worry about this kind of colluding crap that could take place at any moment in time. So, and it does kind of happen with some of the Asian block producers that we've seen. I would also argue that it probably still happens with the ones on the Western side, with the US or UK ones, who, any of those countries on the Western side of the world. But it's just a big issue and one of the downsides to this kind of DPoS consensus model. And last up for today, guys, Bitmain's Antminer E3 will allegedly stop Ethereum mining in 1 month. So it seems like the Antminer E3, which was once the most powerful hardware for mining Ether, is going to stop here by April 2020. What ended up happening here is that There's something called a directed acyclic graph. So a DAG, a file that is generated every new group of 30,000 blocks known as a mining epoch. So as a file grows, right, it takes more memory and capacity, and it seems to have reached its limit. So there's a lot of ETH3 ant miners out there with a 4 gigabyte video card. And right now that just translates until around April 2020. And it's saying that they won't be able to mine again. And that's due to a few things, right? We're seeing more people possibly mining Ethereum because they want to get more so that when we transfer to that proof of stake consensus model, they can get their 32 Ethereum and begin to stake them and mine Ethereum. So it's unfortunate to see this kind of news, but in any case, it would have stopped at some point because Ethereum mining will stop eventually when the 2.0 is in place, and we're expecting the first phase of 2.0 Ethereum to take place in the summertime. So in any case, it kind of, I guess, you know, it's unfortunate, but hey, we're moving forward, and I think a lot of people got a lot of use case from this Antminer E3 anyway. So if they were early on, if you're somebody that just bought this and this is going to stop for you, then it really sucks. I'm sorry to, you know, be the bearer of bad news, but hey, sometimes it just happens. So in any case, guys, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click the like button, leave a comment down below to support my channel. We can talk more about these articles if you'd like, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. I do a lot of blockchain news video. I'm doing it daily here throughout the week, Monday through Friday. I want to keep you guys posted and updated, ready to go, so you get your crypto news and you can carry on about your day, guys. So in any case, I'll talk to you guys soon.